Nadine.
Well, Katie, have you done it? I'm sure most of us are guilty as charged, unfortunately, texting while driving. But yesterday, news came out the National Transportation Safety Board wants all states to ban cell phone use behind the wheel. Sharing his thoughts this morning, Representative Vic Williams, Arizona's Transportation Committee Chairman. Thank you so much for being here.
Nadine, thank you for having me here this morning.
Okay, so my first big question is, do you agree? And this is all cell phone use while driving, not just texting, but talking with your holding the cell phone and with the Bluetooth.
Well, Nadine, I appreciate that NTSB has come out with this recommendation. However, I think it goes a bit too far. I would agree with a no texting ban in the state of Arizona, but for us not to use our phones through Bluetooth and iPods in the car, I think is just trying to go overreach their authority in what they're looking to do here.
Now, this is video, of course, of what it looks like. Distracted driving is very serious. We all know that, what is it, more than 3,000 deaths last year? Absolutely.
I think there's 32,000 highway deaths in the United States now. It's an all-time low, by the way. And as well, about 3,000 of them are contributed to texting while driving. Texting while driving seems to be the main culprit in distracted driving, and I think that's something that we need to take a look at for the public safety, and I think it's something that most citizens of Arizona would agree with, that we should eliminate people, or try to eliminate people texting while driving in their vehicles.
Now, do you think it's NTSB's job to do this, or do you think really the state should be responsible for setting their rules and regulations?
Well, NTSB tries to set a national standard, then it's up to each state, each individual state, to take their own laws into account. That's why it comes to myself as chairman of the Transportation Committee for the House of Representatives to set policy. And this is policy that we're going to take a look at in 2012 in January to eliminate or to have a no texting ban while driving in the state. Sure. But we're certainly not going to try to eliminate all PEDs or personal electronic devices while being used in cars. I think that's just overstepping. It's a common sense and reasonability. We want to find a balance between public safety and then functionality in our highway systems.
And that's true. You know, I have another question to ask you. Considering Phoenix right now does have a ban on texting while driving. Now, is that the only statewide city to do that?
Well, I'm not aware if it is, but I can say this. I appreciate Phoenix developing their own ban. We know we have council people in the city of Tucson, where I'm from, looking at doing a ban. But we have 93 cities and towns in Arizona, and what we don't want to have are 93 different statutes that will be confusing for industry, confusing for our truck drivers, for the average citizen driving down the road as you go to one jurisdiction to the other. We want to have a statewide ban that is consistent under one statute, so law enforcement anywhere will be able to enforce this.
However, over the past year, Phoenix, they haven't really issued that many citations when it comes to texting and driving. In fact, in 2010, only 33 citations. That's not a lot, considering I'm sure a lot more people text and drive in the city limits.
And I think that's due because I think the problem with that, or the reason you have so limited amount of citations, is because it is a citywide ban. And it's difficult for law enforcement officers to enforce that in a city area. If we do this on a statewide ban, it gives assurance to our law enforcement officers that they're within their jurisdiction, they're within their right, and they'll be able to enforce that law more practically.
Last question, what would you like to see happen?
Well, obviously, I'd like to see some legislation pushed forward. Hopefully, we can come back to you in January and February as we move this legislation forward. Try to educate your listeners how they can get involved, how they can contact their state legislators, and let them know how they feel about texting while driving.
Well, Representative Vic Williams, we'd love to have you back on the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
For more information, visit our website. That's kpho.com. We'll be right back.